Hello.
How are you?
This is our introduction podcast for a new podcast.
A new one?
A new podcast. Well, something that we've been talking about for about a year.
More.
Do you reckon it's more?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Maybe, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
A long time.
We're not here to point fingers.
No, a long time. So, we had an idea for a podcast ages ago. And I went off, I made a logo and a Facebook page and an everything. A Spreaker page and everything ready to get the ball rolling on this. And
then music died.
Yeah, then the music died. We got McLeaned. And we decided, myself and I'm going to call you Paul, and sometimes I'm going to call you Helmet.
Yeah.
And you're just going to call me Gar.
Gar.
Because I don't really have another name.
DJ Village Elder.
Yeah. So, myself and Helmet both DJ in and around Dublin a lot. Both of us have a history with playing in bands and touring and recording, and Helmet is a verified synthwave artist.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So Helmet's released albums that he's just made himself. He's released albums and singles with bands he's been in. I've been in a couple of bands that toured and released albums and EPs and singles and nonsensology. But the big thing,
like music.
Yeah, exactly. That's the overwhelming key here. Is
the
that,
crux.
Yeah, we're not just into music. We're into the...
We fucking live and breathe it, man.
Yeah, we the dirt it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We put our own shit out there to be criticised as we criticise other people's.
Exactly. But I think we're both interested in the production and the means.
Yeah, I do love that behind the scenes, correct.
Yeah, that's almost as important as the music itself. To me, is how it's actually put together and who was involved in it. And sometimes finding like a little common thread that runs between multiple bands in different genres. You might find a producer or somebody who played on it or something. And once you realise that, you can cop on to
and that's when you start making a little playlist, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the whole idea here is that when we were growing up, we were mad into cassettes.
Yeah.
And part of the thing that we done when we were very, very small and very young, we'd make mixtapes for each other. For our fucking girls we were into, fucking lads we were hanging around with, or because music wasn't easy to come by like it is now. It was difficult, and I would assume that the base of both of our musical pillars came from tapes that were given to us by pals, tapes that we liked the cover of in some sort of record store or in the market.
And I used to read a lot of music magazines which give you a good hint of stuff coming out that was out. Reviews were a big part of me.
Like there was no internet when we were forming our opinions on music.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had to get it any way we could. So like Helmet said, we're reading magazines. Lads who were older than us that were maybe into metal music would turn around and say, have you ever heard this band?
What do you mean you never heard that?
Exactly. And they would put together a mixtape with the best of a bunch of bands and give it to you.
Yeah.
And they always had lovely little liner notes with the band and the year and all that kind of malarkey.
Sometimes people would even draw the artwork. Well, that's mainly for copying a full album, which you should never do.
I used to have, there was a fella called Scott, and he was the big brother of a pal of mine, Barry. I don't know where the two lads are, I haven't seen them in 25 years. But he had the biggest tape collection I've ever seen. It was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tapes. And I would say that over half of them were just copies that he got off pals of his, and they taped them for him. And what he used to do then, he'd go into like Virgin Megastore or HMV or Golden Discs, and he'd just steal the sleeve for the cassette. Yeah. He'd crack open the cassette and he'd just steal the cover. And he'd bring that home, and he'd put his copy.
So I used to print them off a printer, but I scan them and then give them back to whoever. You know what? I can't complain. Oh, I can't believe you stole that bit after I just talking about stealing album
stuff as well.
So
listen, piracy was part of it.
Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Piracy was part of.
He was stealing something from the physical copy. That's even better.
Yeah, but like it was because of that we ended up going out and spending thousands.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about anything because I've spent so much.
Absolutely not.
If we were all getting hung, drawn, and quartered for what we've done, we'd be somewhere last on the list. They'd like, get to them later. Look at their
way later
stupid vinyl collections. They're not the enemy as such.
Exactly. So we wanted to do a digital version of that, and the digital version of that, I believe, is the Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Now, I know in the States there's other, there's Deezer and Tidal, and there's 5 or 6 different services, but we're here in Dublin, in Ireland.
It's just easier.
It's just Spotify, and it's just easier.
You can also, people that would not don't have Spotify will still be able to listen to these playlists.
Exactly. So the idea here is that there's not going to be any actual music.
Probably not. We haven't really decided the hassle of it.
The grief of it. We're not going to put actual music on it. But what we are going to do is that for every podcast that we release, there's going to be a coinciding playlist on Spotify, and the link for that playlist will go up on our Facebook, and will be a link in the actual the information for this podcast.
Yeah.
When you get this podcast wherever, we'll hopefully have it up on Spotify, and we'll have it up on iTunes, all the usual places that you're able to get your podcasts. So each one will have a Spotify playlist. Each playlist will have a theme.
Yeah.
So you had a couple of ideas for some cool themes.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe best comeback songs, the songs that a band went missing for maybe 6 to 10 years. Maybe is a good going missing and coming back with a. It's usually albums that they come back with, but we're not putting an album on a playlist. Does it make any sense?
Pick maybe the song that best represents that comeback.
Yeah, definitely.
A song that best represents that comeback album.
Yeah, because like a comeback doesn't just need an album; it needs a massive hook.
Well, it needs,
in the first few seconds of the first song.
Big time.
So it needs that hook to get them back. And there has been a few amazing comebacks over the years, song wise.
Before we start recording, we were talking about Offspring.
Yeah. Actually, Offspring was a bad example.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But we figured that out. There wasn't enough time between them blowing up and their comeback song. They had like 4 years.
It was more of a sellout, really. That I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So Smash was the big album.
Yeah.
That was huge. And then they had Ixnay and the Hombre. That was 2 years later.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3, I can't remember. And then they had, it was Americana.
Yeah. I see, in my head there was like way
years,
more time before
years
that.
And years and years.
So when they came back with Pretty Fly for a White Guy, such a departure to almost just clean pop.
Yeah. The punk end of it was almost gone. It was just pop. But there's only 4 years there. And they were active in those 4 years.
Yeah, so that was me fucking that one up.
Yeah, well, I would have thought the same. I would have thought definitely about 12 years.
We said Green Day, American Idiot is a huge comeback song. Well, though we will try and keep it to good music. I don't really think Green Day's American Idiot. It's not a very bad song either. It's not really anything. It's just, but it is a good example of a ginormous comeback. Yeah,
I was trying to figure out. So their big album is Basket Case. Came out the same year as Smash.
Ducky is on Basket Case is on Ducky.
On Ducky, yeah. So. Sorry, the Duke's album, Basket Case, the big song, the big single. Then there's a bunch of albums after that, Insomniac and Nimrod. And then there was Nothing for a While, then there's American Idiot, yeah?
There was probably albums in there, but they were that small. They were just that, but they were small.
Yeah,
the band were just gone small.
So the song in between, let's say, Basket Case and American Idiot would have been Wake Me Up When
September Ends. You see, I thought that was on the same album.
I think that's on Nimrod, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm pretty sure. But that was a huge fucking song. In theory, that's probably their biggest song. Yeah, I'd say if you went to Spotify, that's in the top 3.
Yeah, it's used at a lot of funerals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's not even really Green Day, it's just him and the guitar.
It's not.
Are the band even
could
on
be
it?
Anybody.
I can't remember. I think I thought it was just him and an acoustic guitar.
I'm sure they come in at the end so that they feel part of it. Because that bassist looked like he'd fucking murder you.
Was his name Mike Dirnt, wasn't it? Or Trey Hill. Trey Hill was a drummer. Mike Dirnt.
But that lad looks like he's been in prison and shit.
Yeah, he's got one of them Dylan Moore, the wraparound noses and all.
It just looks like he should either be in Guns N' Roses or in a penitentiary.
Yeah, or lifting Guns N' Roses fly cases.
Yeah. Let's blow this one. We'll do this one now if we can, because we're going to remember all the better comeback songs of all time.
Yeah.
Can't really push Cher, I believe, in there, but that is still classed as one of the biggest comeback songs.
My favourite thing is the story about that wasn't meant to sound like that. That was auto-tuner. So, someone fucked up the auto-tune sentence. So when they recorded that song, that was meant to be just a normal pop song.
Yeah.
It was meant to have all that pop beat.
Yeah, because that was when they were just putting in loops upon loops.
But apparently, her voice was that fucked. They just went to auto-tune it, and the assistant engineer in the studio fucked up and went whatever, fucking A sharp to bleeding D or whatever, instead of setting it right, and start going and went full vocoder style, and they loved it so much they kept it, and I don't think that song would have worked without it.
I can't imagine it now without it anyway. I don't know how sure it is, because her voice isn't I don't think it was. I just think it was when they were discovering that auto-tune, because around the same time, the worst thing is when rap found it, although I still like some rap songs with it on it. But yeah, when that came out, it was like extra 50% of what it should have been on the song. You're supposed to get that for the crack and go, look what it can do, and then you tone it right down.
Because when I was a young fella, I went to college to study sound engineering, and the auto-tuner was outboard. It was just a big digital brick.
Oh yeah.
There was, when I was doing sound engineering, there was no digital. Digital was just starting to come in. Digital recording was starting to come in. There was a system called a radar system, and it was just it looked like a big black server with like a green screen on it, like that ran DOS.
Oh, even the screen was separate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it didn't run on a normal. It wasn't a program that ran on the computer. There was really like small shitty home programs like Cubase and stuff like that. They were doing the rounds. They used to give them away free on magazines and shit.
Yeah.
Because they weren't studio quality whatsoever. But the original one was called Radar. That was the first digital recording system. And then Logic and fucking everything else started coming in. But it was a big brick.
Yeah.
It was just a big brick, and you'd feed it in via the patch bay from the mixing desk.
Of course, yeah,
and it done it live. The auto tune, and we'd have this big fucking wheel with an LCD screen on it, and you'd click it onto whatever key you wanted it,
right?
And it would do it live.
And would you have to do it while you were changing that to the key while the song was?
Yeah. So what you do, but it was all done separately. So say you're doing a verse and you needed to make sure that they were 100%.
Yeah.
You'd set it to whatever key you wanted it in with whatever range of wobble, so it wouldn't just set every fucking note.
Yeah.
And then you'd record that to tape, stack that, rewind it, jump onto another channel, record the second one, and that might be in a slightly different key, whichever way. Yeah. So you've done it layer by layer by layer. I know now, digitally, you can just click, and off it fucking goes.
They will read it and do it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So even just if you keep it in the key of the song or thereabouts.
Yeah, I was messing around with something on just on Audacity, the free digital audio workstation.
Yeah.
Messing around with that, and there was a vocoder and an auto tuner in that, and that had an auto setting as well, and he just put in the parameters and how much space on either side you wanted, and off you went, and it was super. But
I've only ever used it for a little bit of vocodery shit.
I've used that on every single album I've ever recorded on.
Really?
Every single note that came out of a human's mouth ran through auto cue or auto. What am I saying? Auto cue for auto tune. Just for safety.
Jesus.
That's all. And sometimes it's just to see if they were actually doing it correctly or not.
Yeah,
that's all. But
I suppose another one of my comeback songs that I find interesting rather than his favourite is "Return to Mac," because I didn't realise he was
gone.
I never. It's the first introduction of it.
Yeah,
it's like someone in your family walking in and going, "I came back," and you're like, "Were you ever in our family?"
Yeah, but you're
what?
a black German.
Yeah, you're a black German lad.
Yeah, Mark Morrison.
It's just he wasn't German, was he?
He was, yeah.
What?
He was born in England, grew up in Germany, or the other way around.
The other way around.
He was definitely German English.
He reminds me of the Barry Scott of Music World, where Barry Scott came out and went, "Hi, this is Cilla Bang, and I'm Barry Scott." Oh, wait, I'm like, obviously, and I'm like, who is Barry Scott? He's like, "Hi, I'm Barry Scott." You're like,
who?
What? Yeah. But he had that conviction, and he was selling that Cilla Bang.
What the fuck? Who the fuck was Barry Scott?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He wasn't anyone. But the casting was, they just invented him for this. But they could have got like, I don't know, Joe Brand or someone to do it. I don't know. Anyone would go, "Hi, I'm Jim Davison." Better off they didn't pick Jim Davison now. Because you know, so someone like that. They could have got someone who people recognise. But his conviction was saying Barry Scott made me think, I'm in the wrong. I don't know who he is. And I feel that way about Mark Morrison. Return of the Mac.
I think he probably had an actual comeback maybe 10 years later with a remix of that song.
Yeah.
And that'd be about it.
It's hard to come back with your comeback song, which was already a comeback song to the career that we didn't know you had.
Yeah. See, when I'm thinking of comeback songs, I just keep thinking of huge songs by people that were one and done. And I'm getting, for some reason, I'm getting like one-hit wonders mixed up with comeback songs. And
it's almost the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find somebody who, in my head who now had a one-hit wonder, or a big album, and then just gone, just fucking gone.
We could do that now. We could just talk about what we're going to talk about. So it's fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So who did have a major fucking? There's loads of people for the major album.
Meatloaf when he was in Fight Club.
Hang on, he's got loads of. Battlefield 1 and 2 are huge, surely. Not he?
Well, I think 2 had one big song in it. That was about it.
What is that? Objects in the rearview
I can't
mirror.
fucking remember. It could be, yeah.